One thing we can definitely say about Volume 4 of RWBY, it's been a good season for the creatures of Grimm. And none have been more frightening than the recently featured Nuckelavee, the Grimm whose footprints Team RNJR have been following all volume long, only to come to a head in Kuroyuri, Ren's home. As our perception of the world of Remnant has expanded vastly beyond the borders of Vale, so too have a variety of new and terrifying Grimm been introduced. There's been a lot of Grimm featured in RWBY so far, many of which have been inspired by creatures from mythology and other historical tales. And now, Chapter 10 of Volume 4 introduces the Nuckelavee, albeit very sparingly. We never see the creature in its entirety, but the destruction it causes in the settlement of Kuroyuri is no less devastating. So what inspiration lies behind this terrifying new addition to the Grimm pack? Well, we get to go a little bit closer to home for me to investigate the myth behind the Nuckelavee. The creature comes from Scottish and Celtic folklore, home to many mythical creatures such as a certain green sea lizard, who honestly has nothing on the newest threat to Team RNJR.
Big mistake!
The Nuckelavee supposedly lived in the far north of Scotland, on a series of small isolated islands known as the Orkney Isles. The word Nuckelavee itself originates in Norse mythology, something we'll come back to later in the video. Its name translates to Devil of the Sea. The creature is a twisted fusion of human and horse, as we can see from these smoky screenshots in Chapter 10. It's able to live on both the land and the sea. It's said to be skinless, with black blood running through yellow veins. Sound familiar? The Nuckelavee is the ultimate bringer of misfortune. Sorry, Crow. Said to rot crops and sicken animals just from its breath. It was widely blamed for outbreaks of disease and famine in these small Scottish islands. Islanders used the myth of the Nuckelavee to explain away misfortune in their villages. The fear this creature inspired was so great that islanders were afraid to even speak its name. Pretty terrifying, right? Well, it's actually not the fear that this creature causes that makes it the most interesting Grimm we've bumped into so far. It's the Norse elements of this creature's mythology that are the most intriguing. Especially when we consider the Norse influences behind another character in RWBY, Nora Valkyrie, a female subversion of the Nordic god of thunder Thor. Nora doesn't seem to be a resident of Ren's hometown, as shown in Chapter 10. In fact, he's never even seen her in the village until the day before the Nuckelavee attacks. Even the local kids who are bullying her comment on the fact that she looks like an outsider.
Where'd she come from? She's dressed all weird.
Could Nora have led the Nuckelavee to Ren's village accidentally? It's quite possible. And Nora's arrival and the destruction of Kuroyuri seem to be directly linked, especially given the shared heritage between Nora and the Nuckelavee. This lingering shot of a hammer amongst dozens of other weapons in the creature's lair is pretty telling. And finally, I want to bring your attention to the conversation between Raven and Crow in Chapter 4, Family. Crow refers to the destruction of the Shion village and Raven's tribe's responsibility in its downfall. In this scene, he specifically refers to a creature of power that Raven has on her side, or at least has some control over.
I saw. The people of Shion saw too.
The weak die, the strong live. Those are the rules.
Well, you've certainly got someone strong on your side. I've seen the damage.
Note, the flag of Shion village is also found by Ren in the Nuckellavee's cave at the end of Chapter 10. If we look back at the Nuckelavee mythology, one component sticks out pretty strongly in relation to Raven. The Nuckelavee was able to be controlled by the Mother of the Sea. Or the Mother of the Sea, if we want to de-Scottish it. The Sea Mother was said to be able to control the Nuckelavee to some extent, but not entirely. So here's the theory. Perhaps Raven's tribe take down the village defences, and then the Nuckelavee follows, able to destroy what remains of the village with very little resistance. We know that in Remnant, tribes of roaming bandits never stay in one place, hence the Grimm are never able to catch up to them. Maybe it's the same for the Nuckelavee Grimm and Raven's tribe. So what does all this mean for Team RNJR? Well, it's bad news for sure, and could result in death, quite possibly. After the destruction we saw in Ren's village, it seems highly likely. Rooster Teeth, don't do it. You know what I'm talking about, Ren and Nora. But hey, that's just my opinion. I could be very, very wrong, and probably am very, very wrong. So leave your own thoughts below, and make sure to like and subscribe for more RWBY content. You can get a reaction to Chapter 10 by clicking top left, and you can subscribe for more updates, because why wouldn't you, in the bottom left corner. Thanks for watching.